Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Scarfinger, and this is Scarcasm. Woo.
That it is. Woohoo!
You seem to have way more energy than me. I'm motherfucking tired. Like, right off the rip, I'm motherfucking tired. The other day, I couldn't really go to sleep. I tried to play some RimWorld for a little bit, and it was like 2:00 in the morning, and I was wide awake. And then I go to bed, and my girl is sitting there, she wide awake, and then we just started talking about stuff, and it was like almost like 3 before I actually got to bed, knowing that I was supposed to wake up at 7. So I'm motherfucking tired, and I can't take naps, so like I'm motherfucking tired. Like I don't know no other way to say it, man. I'm motherfucking tired, man. How was your week, man? I don't think there's really been anything like super going on. I mean, something happened at work that I thought was kind of messed up, but I can't really talk about it because it's work stuff.
Word. You under that HIPAA too?
No, it's not even HIPAA. It's just like, you know, it's real easy. Men are trash. Men are absolutely fucking trash. And because I work in the office with a couple of ladies, but like most of the people who actually go out on the jobs are men, except for one lady, but she's kind of, you know, she's a kind of a stud. So, so like all of them are men, and men are kind of trash. I can't really say much more than that. Just know that men are trash.
Men are trash, brother.
Yeah. So how's your week been? I'm trying to think. Is it any...
My actual week has been alright, but I've been fucking fucked up, man.
What do you mean?
Like the, you know, it's gonna sound like a freaking white people problem, but like, you know how we go to the lake and shit? Like, and that's the only like kind of pseudo, like, hey, we got a good life kind of thing we ever do, because like my extended family had a house up there and stuff to where we can like feel like we're not poor for like a day. So but I believe that they're selling their lake house.
Oh.
You know why? You know why?
Why?
Here's the thing. I used to hang out with these kids next door that were they were related to, because this is my step family, you know, so they weren't really related. Because so I hung out with a kid named Timothy and a girl named Jessica, and they were brother and sister, and they were my step uncle's like nieces or nephews or something. It was like his brother's kids or something.
Uh-huh.
Right. Well, they were cool as shit, you know. The kid, he was a little bit on the he liked to sing. He played piano, and he would sing in these plays and stuff. Not the manliest kid in the world, you know.
Right.
But we dug it because, you know, we both like music, and we like to go tubing and ride on the jet skis and stuff like that. And
that's what you call it now?
Yeah. And the girl Jessica, she was pretty cool, but she kind of like rolling with the dudes, you know. She like fucking getting in the mud and doing boy shit.
Tomboy.
And I then after kind of middle school, they always came at different times than we did, and it was like it kind of sucked because then it was like no other kids my age other than my sister, which she's 7 years younger than I am. And yeah, throughout high school and actually until this week, I didn't know why that they always come in different times than we did. Well, apparently Timothy is gay as fuck, and so is Jessica. And they weren't allowed. They could come, but they couldn't come when Grandpa Curtis was there, and they definitely couldn't bring their significant others. Well, Grandpa Curtis just recently passed away. 2 weeks after that, they come up there with their significant others to have fun at the lake. And my uncle's ready to sell the place because he don't like that shit. And I'm like, really? I'm going to lose like a really big part of my childhood because you homophobic?
So you took someone else's situation and only thought about yourself. Like, you ain't think of the fact that you ain't. I mean, you kind of was like, well, like, you know, like, my life is fucked up because you homophobic. Not the fact that, like, how could you treat these people that way because you're homophobic? No, it's my life is messed up because you're going to sell the lake house, and now I don't get to go.
You making me out to be a bad guy.
No, I'm not making you out to be a bad guy. I'm making you out to be fucking selfish because you're thinking about yourself at this point and not thinking about those poor gay people that have to deal with this shit now.
I did because it's totally fucked up. Like, it's totally fucked up that they couldn't bring their people. But on the same token, I probably would have did it a little bit differently. You know, it might have turned out differently if, you know, Grandpa Curtis has died like 2 weeks ago. Maybe I'll bring John next year. And, you know, not like. Yeah,
yeah, I think it's kind of fucked up to be like, oh, that nigga dead. All right, then. Like, come on in. Like, really, like, that's how you gonna do this? Like, it's like, as soon as he dies, it's like, I'm gonna show up with the reason why you couldn't come in the first place. Like, no, you make the trip, at least the first trip you make by yourself. And maybe you don't stay for the whole time. Maybe you stay for a couple days and bounce. I mean, I'm pretty sure your significant other will understand, like, I want to reconnect to something from my childhood. And they're not really cool with this gay stuff. So let me just go figure out the lay of the land, and then I'll bring you back. All right, cool. But no, they was just like, oh, he dead. We out here. Party.
Yeah, because the shitty thing is, I always asked about it. You know, like, where's Timothy? You know, why? You know, like, where's Timothy? Like, he's like, you know, that they come at different times. Like, I'm like some fragile dude, not knowing that I'm like totally cool with whatever. It's it's the fact that they're not cool with it. And you know what? I have a similar situation. Well, not kind of, like, not necessarily, but similar. There's a gentleman that I went to high school with, right? And we follow each other on Facebook and all this other stuff, right? And him and his brother used to be, like, during school, like, him and his brother were, you knew them together. Like, you knew they were brothers, you knew them together, you knew the two of them. But it was very obvious from a very, very early age that the brother was probably going to be gay. Like because that's the thing. It's like, when they said it, I was like, yep, I could have told you that before you even told me. Like, right. It's not like you're hiding anything to me.
Right.
Like,
so,
dude.
I know, so this dude, the brother, not the gay one, the straight brother, he is on, like, Facebook and Instagram and stuff all the time. And he posts these, like, pictures and stuff like that of, like, family get-togethers and stuff like that. And, like, the brother ain't never in it. I don't know if something happened to the brother or, like, anything. But, like, I don't want to be the one to ask the question, because I figure, like, the fact that he's not in any of this stuff might be a sore subject. So I don't want to ask the question, but I kind of want to be like, yo, how's your brother doing?
Right.
But it's kind of messed up. Like, I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant to really say anything because I don't really want to bring up a sore subject. Or if, like, something happened to his brother, and like say if something happened and his brother passed away or something like that, and, like, that's the reason why he's not in any of this. Like, I don't know anything, but I'm kind of hesitant to ask because I don't want to bring up a sore subject, whether he's not around because he's gay or whether he's not around because he's not here no more. I don't want to bring up the sore subject, so I never ask. Yeah,
because I figured with Tim, but I didn't really figure with Jessica because, I mean, she was a tomboy and all, but there's plenty of there's plenty of young girls who either grow out of it or they kind of stay a little tomboy, but they still do their thing. I mean, you would say that Anthony Alex's wife is that type, right? Right.
You know, like,
I mean, Amber's that type because, like, that's what I'm saying. I like tomboys because I like the cute girl that can roll with the dudes, not the, because I don't know how I would take it if, like, I'm over here playing, like, video games and I have a lady that's watching Dancing with the Stars. I don't know if I could take it, you know? Like, just doing, like, really girly, like watching, I don't know, TLC, all those, you know, just...
Lifetime.
Yeah, Well, she does, like, some Lifetime, but more the horror. Like she digs like the fucked up shit.
Suspense and stuff like that, like thrillers. Really she likes thrillers.
The Christmas movies that are all the same Christmas movie. We both hate that shit. They're all the same. Yes. That's the Hallmark Channel.
Yeah, very much. But I don't really watch none of that shit, so I'm cool.
But yeah, like, so it's a little weird, but you know, but it still was. I would have liked all these years to see what. You know, see how we grew, you know, like, because we both were into music and shit. Yeah, he was more into, like, you know, like show tunes, and I was more into, like, metal. But still, it was a common ground that we had.
You should find him on Facebook and ask him, has he done Rent yet? Because Rent, like, here's the one thing about Rent, right?
Rent's cool as shit, though.
Rent's cool as shit, but here's the best thing about Rent.
Uh-huh.
Whenever someone asks you how many minutes are in a year, you know that because of Rent. That's the answer. Rent answers that trivia question. Like, I had a call one day from a lady, and her name is Aaliyah, and. So I asked her name. She said her first name was Aaliyah, and she said, do you know how to, she was like, do you want me to spell it for you? I was like, no, I just sing the song. And she was like, that's funny. And I was like, yeah, I'm old. But she was like, that's funny because that song is how I learned how to spell my name. I mean, obviously she's younger than me. But like that song, there's a song that's like an interlude or like an intro to a song where, you know, she actually sings the spelling of her name. And so this girl, as a little girl, learned how to spell her own name by listening to that song.
Yeah, that's why you should just name your kid Method Man. Let him listen to Wu-Tang, then he'll know how to spell his name.
You're right.
Or at least part of it.
You're right.
At least the first half. Man is a pretty easy.
My little cuz, man, who is my ex-wife cousin that I still keep in contact with on Facebook and such. He actually I think his gamer tag is like Method Miller or something like that, and I think about it every time. Like he ended up being like super into 90s hip hop, even though he's like younger. Well, he's much younger than me, but like his gamer tag is like Method Miller or something like that.
Yeah, I actually played with a guy on Call of Duty 4 named Ghostface Killer. So maybe Wu-Tang names are just like a thing to do on the Xbox. I don't know.
Have you ever done the Childish Gambino thing?
Yeah, I did. Actually, I could do it right now because it saves it. You know.
Where you look up the Wu-Tang name generator and see what they actually come up with. So my name was Erratic Assassin.
Mine was something assassin, I think. No, it was ambassador. Hold on. It says your full name.
This is great radio, by the way.
Yeah, it's X-pert ambassador, but X-pert ambassador is mine.
Hold on, I need to write that down. That's gonna be in the show title. I don't know how. But I'm gonna figure that out. So, X-pert.
Yeah, X dash like the letter X dash pert.
Like X-Pac, the wrestler.
Like X-pert, like the shampoo pert. Ambassador, and ambassador spelled right.
Yep, that's the show title. The X-pert ambassador in the Erratic Assassin show.
I wish I knew about that. I don't know how old it is. Before I made like a gamer tag.
Well, my gamer tag is always. My original name that I was going to use for a gamer tag was always is too common. So like no one was going to care I mean, like, no one was going to have mine. So I went with Scarfinger because, I mean, like I've said it many times before, I at one point I wanted to be a rapper. Mm-hmm. And I have a scar that runs the entire length of my left index finger. So, and this is before I saw the movie Scarface. And I thought, Scarfinger, all right, I got a scarred finger. I could be Scarfinger, but before then I was the surgeon.
Right.
But yeah, I have a scar that runs the entire length of my index finger, my left index finger.
Well, this is the first podcast that I've officially been rebranded. I've gone back to Crucial Chase on just about everything.
Yeah, I saw that because you changed your picture on Google, so I was like, huh? Yeah, and we didn't speak about it on the show,
right?
But we talked about why you changed it.
Yeah, because they was like, I don't know if he's like a jihadist or something. Because if he was like a jihadist, he'd probably get banned from YouTube. But he's some sort of Islamic something to where every episode was like the Heathens Awakening Part 1, the Heathens Awakening Part 2, and like even if it's benign, I don't want YouTube to think that I'm maybe like some sort of like jihadist dude, because I know that's what the radical Islamic people call us, is heathens.
Okay.
So I do know that some of your big Marine guys, they'll actually go by heathen just because they're like owning the name. But, really it's just, but yeah, I've had it for a while, but Crucial Chase goes way back. That goes back to when I was like in the hardcore scene and having bands and stuff. So I just named that was my first gamer tag, was Crucial Chase, which was just, cause that was like my instant messenger name, my like MySpace name and stuff way before Xbox or any of that stuff.
Okay.
Cause I didn't have Xbox Live before the 360. I didn't have Xbox Live on the Xbox.
I had Xbox Live, not in the earliest of days, but I had Xbox Live when basically the only thing you could really play was like MotoGP and like Revolt and like Mech Warrior. Like all of that kind of stuff was on
back then,
on the Xbox.
There was no silver account. You couldn't just make a Xbox Live account. It was like you're paying for this shit if you're making it. It was like gold or nothing. And but when I got a 360, I went gold. For one, it was like free for like 3 months.
Right. But yeah, I played in those days, and then but Xbox Live didn't really get like real until Halo 2.
Right.
And oh man, the homie Sam, right? Was just on a show a few shows ago. He decided he wanted to go back and start from the beginning of of the current iteration of the show with you and me. So I went back and I found the first show, and it was really, I guess it was supposed to be a live stream, and something didn't work right, so we recorded a show instead. Right. And like one of the first conversations that we had was about Halo 2. And about how Halo 2 adding jocks to the equation messed up the game for gamers.
Nice. Bringing it back around.
Yeah. I was like, it was like crazy because like we're on like 360 something, and like your first show was like 306 or 309 or something like that. Like
it's been crazy because like a lot of that, I was like, because it was when we were like when we first got into that temporary house and we didn't have internet for a while, I was like going to my dad's house, doing it on the phone, going to my parents' house, doing it on the phone, or just like, and even when we got internet, I was still doing it on the phone until I got the PC.
Right.
So
yeah, it was episode 306 is the start of this. And speaking of that, the homie Pimp sent me a show about wrestling. I'm pretty sure. I mean, if you got the feed, like you probably know this by now. And I've been asking him to do that for a while. Like, he said he doesn't have time to do that. And I was like, well, record something and send it to me. I just didn't know the whole thing was going to be about wrestling. So I listened to the show, but like, it's been so long since I watched wrestling. I had no idea what he was talking about.
It was funny because how you introed it was like, yeah, Pimp's going to do this thing about wrestling. He really likes this stuff. And the next thing out of Pimp's mouth when he first started was like, fuck this shit. And it pretty much went from there. Fuck this shit and fuck Vince's man. Fuck this shit. I was like, I don't think he likes this shit that much.
I mean, I guess he likes wrestling. He just didn't like this pay-per-view. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't see myself being invested in wrestling anymore. Like, that's the only thing. Like, it just doesn't do it for me anymore. Like, I think a part of it is like, all of the like oversized personalities and like, like the Undertaker and stuff like that. And I know Taker just retired recently and all that other stuff, but like all of these people now, they like go by their names. You know what I mean? It's kind of like what hip hop turned into. Like, I
think the only oversized personality, but he's only oversized because of the memes and stuff, is probably John Cena.
Yeah, like, but still, his name is John Cena. He's not like the Colossal Man or some shit like that. He's fucking John Cena. Like, it's kind of like how rap turned into like Kendrick Lamar. Like, you know what I mean? When I first heard of Kendrick Lamar, I did not think that person did not sound like a good rapper to me. Like, that person sounded like an R&B singer that did a stage show with no shoes on. Like, that's what, you know what I mean? Like he performed like Eric Benet. Like, I was thinking Eric Benet. You say Kendrick Lamar, I'm thinking somebody more along the lines of Eric Benet. I wasn't thinking about a rapper. You know what I mean? So like,
I'm seeing that more, and well, you're also like seeing rappers that started out in the 90s and stuff like Jay-Z trying to get away from, they kind of want to be Sean Carter a little bit rather than Jay-Z.
I mean, the only thing Jay-Z did was take the dash out.
Yeah.
I mean, like, but he still, I mean,
Jay's.
Like when we refer to Beyonce and Jay-Z, we refer to them as Beyonce and Jay-Z. No one refers to Jay-Z as Sean.
Right.
Like, nobody does. Like, and even to other Seans, like Puffy. Like, even though Puffy done changed his name like how many times, we still call that nigga Puffy. Like, he's still gonna be Puffy forever. But like, you know what I mean? But we can't, like, Kendrick Lamar doesn't have a Puffy. You know what I mean? Like,
and he wasn't even Puffy in the beginning. He was just like Puff Daddy. They won't even know why there.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, like, but it's crazy, like, and that's what I think happened to wrestling. Like, we lost the cool dudes, and like we got dudes with like
what Dwayne Johnson is cooking.
Yeah, like who is The Rock now? Like the Rock is The Rock. And like, and we think of Stone Cold. Like, we don't call that nigga Steve Austin. Even though, like, Steve Austin ain't his real name, but we call that nigga Stone Cold. Like, that's what we do. Like, he will forever be known as Stone Cold. We don't actually waste our time calling him Steve Austin. Like, who the fuck calls him Steve Austin? Nobody. He's Stone Cold. That's Stone Cold. Like,
even when I wasn't in wrestling, I thought he was cool as shit. Cause, like, actually, he just released a beer, and I've heard it's, like, really fucking good.
Yeah, I mean, he's a podcaster and shit now.
Yeah.
I know he had I think he had a couple of back surgeries and stuff like that and had to stop wrestling. Mm-hmm. But like, he's like a big time podcaster and like entrepreneur and shit now.
He got back surgeries, had to stop wrestling Stone Cold Turkey.
Bruh.
It's gotta happen at least one show, man. Crucial puns.
No, I'm gonna say no on that one. No, we don't have to do that. We don't have to. So he did that show, and I thought it was cool, and I thought it was cool that he finally got around to actually doing something for the shows, and I very much thank him for that. And then I thought that the last show that we did with Rob was very well received, and it seemed like he really enjoyed himself, which I wasn't quite sure if he was really going to enjoy that, because
Right.
it was the first time that, you know, other than like speaking to him when we were like in in a situation where I was either dropping off or picking up Pooh Bear, I didn't know that you know how that would really go, and I'm glad that he enjoyed himself. Now,
Yeah.
okay, so now here's the real thing. Apparently, his wife did not enjoy me calling him Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Oh, really? Like you figured that she would not like that.
But see, here's the problem with that, right? The joke is on me. So, like, why are you mad? Like, the joke is on me. I call him Mr. Steal Your Girl. I'm the one who had the girl taken.
You know what this means? You know what this means?
I was
It means she listens to the show. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
I don't think she listened to that one because he was there. But like, you know, but the joke was on me, so I'm wondering why anyone would get upset by that, because the joke is on me. I'm the one that had the girl stolen, and I'm the one that can laugh about it. So like, at this point, like you know, we're all to a place where we can all be past it and be on shows together and stuff like that. But I thought that was in its inception, I thought it was a good way to break the ice. Like, because
the show did have a good flow, because it did have kind of like, you know, shout out the Major Linux. It kind of had a flow, kind of like their show a little bit. It's kind of like riffing off each other.
Yeah,
Dream Team type feel.
Yeah, I mean, but also with the show with Marcus though, like, you ended up being quiet most of the time because you had no idea that Marcus and I were so acquainted. So right. You walked into a situation like, hey, we have Major Linux on the show, and I was like, oh yeah, that's my man.
I knew you guys. I knew that you guys knew each other, and that's one reason I got him on the show. But I didn't know that you guys were a part of that you know, the era.
Yeah, like my separation is the reason why I couldn't go to his wedding. Because the whole shit was right before his wedding, and it was too messy. So we all got told not to come to the wedding. so we were all that close to, whereas, like I said, I was going to go to his wedding.
You should rename the show "Not Your Wedding Party."
Right. I still ain't got my invite though. Marcus. So all of us, you know, I think we're all pretty much good now. And so I'm looking forward to doing more work, and having more work done by everybody.
You're looking to do more work?
No, I'm looking
forward to it.
No, I'm looking for them to help. I'm not looking to do more. I'm looking to do less work. Damn it! So I'm doing the work now to try to get more help.
Let's go over to Steam. Let's write some new reviews, like right here on the show. Come on, let's do it. Do more work.
Yeah, no.
I haven't been playing anything on Steam.
I play a little bit of RimWorld. I mean, we can get into, well, as far as what we've been watching, only thing I've really been watching has been The Flash. I watched a smidge, like my girl was watching some show called The Fosters. And it's one of those like ABC Family type shows. Like, I don't know where the show actually airs. She watches it on YouTube. I mean, on Netflix.
Really familiar.
And like, you know, like, just like that other show, Life Unexpected, like there was things about it that seemed interesting, but like the writing was just kind of fucking terrible in some places. And like, and like being able to predict it all, was like really funny because I'm just like, you know how this is going to go, right? Like I'm that guy. I'm that guy that'll call it out. And also I watched a little bit of the second season of 13 Reasons Why. Only because she was watching it and I was in the room. Like, I didn't actually sit down and watch the episodes, like really watch the episodes. That's like, I think 13 Reasons Why is more of like a Tyler Perry thing to me. Cause, you know, like Tyler Perry will do a play or a movie, right? And it like takes place with like a small family. And this small family has a ton of fucking problems. They have like a neighborhood's worth of problems within this small family. And like, I guess you have to do something if you want to keep this show going. But like, they all had way too much stuff going on. Like, way too much stuff going on for them to just be regular fucking high school kids. Like, so, like, and I didn't watch any of the 13 Reasons Why before then. I'm not, you know, it's not anything I'm ever gonna go back and watch. But there was one thing that happened or almost happened in the finale that I called episodes earlier. I said, this is gonna happen. I saw something happen and I said, this is going to happen. And apparently it almost happened in the last episode. I never watched it, but I did look up a synopsis of the episode. No, I looked up a synopsis. The synopsis was not around. So I looked up reviews, and the spoiler reviews kind of made me believe that I was 100% right, even though I was only partially right. Mm-hmm. Because the thing that I thought was going to happen almost happened. It just didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, I can spoil it and save y'all having to watch this shit.
Nah, we'll have Blue on our asses.
Blue ain't watching 13 Reasons Why.
But he don't want us to spoil it for the people.
I don't know. It's just, but yeah, I watched that. I'm back on The Flash. And I can't remember if I really watched anything else, as far as watching stuff. Like I said, as far as what I played some Killing Floor. I live streamed it on Mixer because I was playing on my Xbox. And, I had an experience that I talked about on Facetious, that I'm not going to repeat.
I hear some ringing.
My girl just turned on a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, maybe that's it. I thought it might have been your mic kind of ringing like still something.
It's a stuff. That's how it sounds to me.
It sounded like you're about ready to sing the Lion King thing.
No, that's like that's how the Lion King starts. Like that. I don't really know the words, or I don't know what it should be. So I'm just gonna kind of play through that. You know, I watched a documentary a while ago about background singers. Mm-hmm. And it was really good. It was on Netflix. I can't remember what the name of it was, but it's about background singers. And like, I realized that the people who sang that shit for the Lion King were not African. They were just regular old black people, but they're background singers, so they never wanted the spotlight. So they will sing all of this shit for movies and shit and just collect their check and go home. Like, it's really crazy. It's a really good documentary because it's about how these people who make this wonderful music are basically kind of like, I don't want to be out front like that. I can sing really well, but nothing makes me want to be out front and have to take the whole spotlight for myself. That's just, you know, I don't want that kind of life for myself. It was just really kind of cool. I really dug that. I really need to. There's another documentary that I've wanted to watch for a long time. And it's called Standing in the Shadows of Motown, and it's about the Funk Brothers. Mm-hmm. Do you know who the Funk Brothers are?
Remind me.
They are the musicians that provided the music for all of these Motown songs. Okay. And it's supposed, that one's supposed to be really good. I think you can only get it on Amazon for free for your streaming services at this point. But like, yeah,
I might look that up with my dad because my dad is actually really into Motown and shit, and I am too. Like, I mean, it's good shit, you know? I mean, it's the 60s equivalent of, like, the boy bands. It's really manufactured, but it was so good. Like, it's like the
Well, I mean, boy bands were created during that era. I mean, the Jackson 5 were the template.
Right, because, like, it was like... But it's weird how the popular music and the... Because this isn't even from my era, you know what I mean? to where I'm not being a jaded old man. I'm just like being a person who can notice shit to where, like in the 60s and even early 70s, the popular music and the music that was like maybe even manufactured, like the Motown Empire, was like so much better than the manufactured music when we were growing up. Like it was just better music.
Well, I mean, when you think about the boy bands, it all came from that, right? Like Berry Gordy did the Jackson 5, right? Mm-hmm. The Jackson 5 were basically modeled after the adult groups like the Temptations and the Four Tops and all of those, but what they had was basically Little James Brown.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that they were all brothers and all of that other stuff. So they did that, right? And then where did the modern boy band come from? The modern boy band came from basically New Kids on the Block. They were the first like big thing. And New Kids on the Block basically came from New Edition. Uh-huh. Because when they New Edition was basically modeled after the Jackson 5. And even to the point where when the movie came out, Michael Bivins said that when they were looking for a name, Maurice Starr, who was the original, one of the first person that signed them to a record contract, wanted to call them something. It was something 5, right? Mm-hmm. But like he wanted to basically steal the idea of the Jackson 5 without calling them the Jackson 5. So it was like something that begins with a J and a 5, and like the way that the letters were written out, the J and the 5 was that much bigger than everything else, so that people would think that they were the Jackson 5. So they ended up coming up with New Edition because they're the New Edition of Jackson 5. And then basically they left Maurice Starr, and Maurice Starr said, you know what? I think I can make a whole lot of money doing this exact same thing, but with white people. That's really what happened. And then he came up with New Kids on the Block. New Kids on the Block were touring and stuff like that, and they were doing private jets. The guy that owned the private jet company was like, these kids are like really are able to pay for these private jets, so maybe I should do the same thing. What is his name? The guy and then he started NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. You know what I mean? And it all just came from each other. They all spawned from each other, but it all goes back to the Jackson 5, because if you look at all of the big name boy bands, it started with the Jackson 5, went to New Edition. Someone said, I can make New Edition. New Edition with white people. And then the person said, okay, these dudes are making a lot of money and able to afford this. Maybe I can make a lot of money doing this. So he started NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys. Like,
we had like Boyz II Men and Blackstreet in there somewhere though.
But Boyz II Men I wouldn't call them a boy band. I would call Boyz II Men were
adult contemporary.
They were the modern day equivalent of a quartet. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like they that's what their thing was. They were the modern day equivalent of a quartet. And also you can, even if you called them a boy band, you can still trace that back to the Jackson 5. Why? Because Boyz II Men, who are named for a New Edition song. New Edition were named because they were the New Edition of the Jackson 5. You could still trace all of that shit back.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and Boyz II Men, when they first came out, they were signed under Michael Bivins, who was in New Edition. You know what I mean? Like, so like all of this stuff, you can still trace all of this shit back. What the fuck is that dude's name? I know he's in jail now. The guy
I thought he died. And
what's his name?
Came out to where he liked the boy bands a little bit too much. But
what's his name? Lou Pearlman?
Yeah, I think he's dead.
He died in 2016, but I know he died. He was in prison for fraud.
But he also, he liked the boys a little bit too much.
I didn't know that part.
The NSYNC, he was a little bit,
that part I didn't know. I knew that he was, involved in like some weird shit, like fraud and Ponzi schemes and all of that kind of stuff. Like I knew he was involved in that. I just didn't know that it was really that. And then he did the Old Town thing on TV. He did the Making the Band. And then
I wonder, like, these dudes that get involved with these Ponzi schemes, they're like, everybody that's tried this has ended up in prison, but this time it's going to work.
But I mean, that's the mind of any criminal, right? Yeah. Like, if you are going to be involved in a criminal enterprise, like, you're going to say to yourself, like, there's so many people who did this wrong. I think I could do this better and get away with it. And then they just don't. Some of them survive for quite some time and then they get hit or, something happens. But, like, at the end of it, that's the whole point of crime, right? Like, there is nothing that, oh my God, I'm actually looking at this. He did get allegations that he was really about that life with the young boys. All criminals think that they can beat the system. Like, because being a criminal is a crapshoot in itself. Like, the whole idea is, like, I understand that this is a way to do something wrong, but I think I can come up off of this. And, like, even though, like, there's a million drug dealers dead or in jail, but I don't think I'm gonna be the one that's gonna get caught because I'm gonna do this differently. Like, niggas do dumb shit like watch The Wire and was like, I think I can do that. So, yep. Yeah. So it's really, I don't know. So, but yeah, like when you look at all of this stuff, it can all be traced back, to the Jackson 5, which I think is a really interesting, like, if someone decided to like make a documentary, I would love that. Tracing the whole thing back to where it started with the Jackson 5. I think the New Edition versus New Kids on the Block thing is so interesting. Like, it is too interesting because New Edition and New Kids on the Block are basically the same thing, except for that one guy just said, I can do this with white people and I make more money because they're white people. And that's the reason why New Kids on the Block exist. Which is crazy. Why'd you just turn your camera down?
Because I wanted to show the people something.
No one's gonna see it except me. We're not doing a live show.
Right, but you can shoutcast. You said you wanted to get in on that. So why don't you try shoutcasting?
What, you wanted to show me that your mouse changes colors? I thought we discussed this. I thought we discussed this in the last show. Okay. I don't know. Like, what am I supposed to be shoutcasting? Because I didn't see anything. Like, I really didn't see anything. And this is great for radio, by the way. I tried to do that. The whole vaping and trying to make a tornado. Uh-huh. I tried that. It didn't quite work out for your boy.
Yeah, the trick is like to come in with your hand like this and just kind of pull it up. It basically forces, because actually I guess when you do that and just right here, you can't see it because you can't see air, but it forces the air to go up and down and it makes a spiral.
Welcome to Vape Tricks with Scarcasm.
And Scarcasm.
Really?
I just realized when I did that, I realized you said Scarcasm, not Scarfinger.
Really? I tried to be inclusive, damn it. What is the stuff you've been into? I know I talked about mine already.
Well, I did finish my July Persona 4 stuff, and
I was there for some of it. I actually saw people fighting. I had no idea what I was actually watching, but I did see some fighting.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was I joined the Raleigh-Durham Extra Life chapter Discord, and also joined the regular Discord for Extra Life. I want to try to get more donations and shit. Like, I've been doing this since April, and I haven't got any donations, but I'm not really worried about, I want a bunch of followers, but it'd be kind of cool to get some donations on my Extra Life. Because I thought that if I did this, it's set up in this way and it's like all scheduled out and it still ain't really popping.
Here's my problem with donating to Extra Life. Like, I have so many friends that do Extra Life.
You don't know who to donate to.
No, it's not that I don't know who to donate to. I don't know anybody that's doing Extra Life that the donations are going to the Miracle Network hospital that's closest to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing your stuff for, like, North Carolina. Everybody else is doing the stuff closest to where they are. But I don't know anybody that's doing the stuff closer to me. And, like, I have an actual personal attachment to CHKD, which is...
Well, might be a chapter in your area. We just don't know.
There is a Richmond chapter. And it used to be, if you go to the Richmond chapter's website, Marcus is listed as the vice president. And he was just like, I'm the vice president of the Raleigh-Durham chapter, not Richmond.
Right.
But it's really, I mean, so I always go, when I donate, I always go to the website and I donate directly to the hospital that I have the connection to.
Right.
So that's why I find it very weird. And then, like, people, I know that there's a lot of people that want people to donate and stuff like that. And I'm really cool about all of that. But, like, I have a connection to this hospital.
I just don't understand how they do it. Like, you have, like, these people that are getting these crazy donations. Like, who is their people? Like, because there's one thing. It's like you got to make yourself... You got to use the streaming thing and get yourself a lot of followers, so you have a lot of followers.
But I think a lot of the people who get like a lot, like Tiny, like I know Tiny gets like thousands in donations, but he also is like a big dog in his organization, and he also is the guy like Marcus does. He is the guy that goes to the conventions with the Extra Life booth. So, like, he's meeting people in that way. Like, stuff like that. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Maybe I need to get more involved with stuff like that, going to the conventions. Like, I'll get up with Marcus to see what I can do. Because, I've, like, pretty much every year I've got donations, right? And, except for last year, because I didn't really do anything. It was just a crazy year.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that a lot of people who think about Extra Life, they think about Extra Life in like October or November when the day thing happens. They don't really think about Extra Life for the rest of the year for the most part.
Right. Because that's why I was trying to do it during times when people weren't really thinking about it that much. Because when everybody else is doing it, it's kind of hard to get people to watch you and donate to you when they're probably going to be doing their own thing, or they're looking at their buddies, or I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at the top list of like people donating to Extra Life, and like somebody who I watch his videos on YouTube is like number 7 on the top donators. He has $16,000 donated so far. That's crazy. Yeah, I would set mine low. Maybe about 100 or 2 just to start off with, and then like if I don't make the money, I donate the shit myself. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel about it.
Because the first year I set it for 100 and I got like 150. Second year I set it for 500 and I got 80. Third year I didn't get anything because the third year I got about the same, about 50. And in the fourth year, I didn't do anything. And this is the 5th year, and I haven't got anything yet. But maybe I'm on the wrong platform, too. I've got really into YouTube, and I think a lot of the Extra Lifers are using Twitch.
Yes. I've just looked at the top people, and Tiny is number 58 on the top like donators. He already got 2 Gs. Well, 2.5 Gs already.
Look at the top teams and tell me where Good for Gaming is. That's my team.
Okay, I'll take a look.
But yeah, I enjoy it. Because I'm playing a game I really like, and I'm doing it in a way that I don't get burned out because I do it like 3 times a month. Maybe like an hour and a half stream. Like
right.
this last one, I did do like a 2.5 hour stream because I got really close to a dungeon and I wasn't really that, I hadn't streamed that long when I got close to that dungeon, and so I put like a bunch of regular like Persona shit and the dungeon, and I didn't really want to stop the dungeon right in the middle of a stream, so I just kept going. So that one was kind of long, but my next one will start like April 4th, or not April 4th, August 4th, because it'll be. But yeah,
I'm looking through this list, and I think it's cool. I just saw the Game Enthused community on here, and I know Tiny is a part of the Game Enthused community, and they're 51. I haven't seen Good for Gaming yet.
Okay, cool. I know last year they were pretty high, but they might not be as high this year.
I mean, like I said, most people don't even think about this shit until like
November,
October, November, when the day gets closer. And
in November, we're going to do a big thing to where I'm doing 212s, and you might actually come down for at least one of them, or 1.5.
Yeah, maybe. It's possible, I think.
Because I was thinking about doing the stream, and then with my phone, just recording some video, like, in the background, and editing that together as, like, kind of a behind-the-scenes thing. And if we go, like, because I was thinking, like, if we did the stream, like, after the stream was over, maybe we can go out, like, go to Best Buy or something, because I do want to show you that speaker thing that I was talking about. I want to like see what someone else thinks of that shit. if it's actually fucked up, or if it's supposed to sound like that, because it sounds fucked up to me.
Maybe it's not really a speaker. Maybe it's a subwoofer, and subwoofers don't do the rest of the sound very good.
Right, but you would think that they would have also some tweeters to make it sound good.
Yeah, but maybe that's not their goal.
Man, I kind of want some subs in my car just for doom metal. I mean, it'd be great to hear just feel some like massive riffs with some subs.
Yeah, you know what? I want a sub in my car, but I don't really want my car.
I want them under my seats, like I'll like to feel it in the seat.
My cousin has a sub that is under his back seat, and it's immaculate. I rode with my cousin couple years ago. I went to a band. I went to a band battle with him. Like I met him somewhere, and then we drove in his car. And I was instantly jealous. I can honestly say that I was jealous. Once them lows kicked in, I was like, man, this is some bullshit. I don't like this. like, and you know, he got a nice car and stuff like that. He's a barber, and he actually makes pretty good money. Because he's really good at his job. And like, I'm just like, yo, I got this piece of shit 98 Corolla. You know what I mean? That my aux jack, only plays out one side of my car because my aux jack is fucked up. And I didn't want to buy a new radio or anything to put in it, because it's just an aux jack. If I play anything else, it plays just fine on all of my speakers, but the aux jack is fucked up and it only plays on the right side of my car.
That sucks. You sure it's not the cord?
No, it's not the cord. I done changed the cord out several different times, and I've used different things. Yeah, it's not the cord. It is definitely the aux jack is fucked up. Yep.
It ain't got Bluetooth?
My Bluetooth, well, no, that radio's old. I have the Bluetooth thing, but I have a Bluetooth little dongle that plugs into the aux jack.
Oh, nice.
I really like that thing, and I bought it for cheap from Amazon, which was really great until like one day I just left it in the car one day, and the little face plate where you press the buttons, that melted off of the front. So the thing still works, I just can't press any buttons.
Right. Yeah, I want me a Bluetooth stereo for the car, because it's just I don't know if you've ever seen how a Yaris looks on the inside, but it's like curved. So it's like, it seems like I would need to get a really specific stereo for it, because it's all like made into the console, basically.
I mean, but they have those little kits that you buy when you want to put a regular radio in the shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, it might be something for it. You know what I mean?
Right. Because when I got in that wreck, well, not wreck, but I hit that deer, and I was on that Nissan that had the Bluetooth, I was like, holy shit. I was taking pictures of, like, sending it to the podcast and shit, and be like, look, it says Gamers in Beta, or Tap the Craft right on my stereo, you know, because it's Bluetooth, it sends all that information and just works, you know.
Bruh, I have never in my life, like, my old coworker has a fully loaded Bumblebee, like new Bumblebee, like the Camaro, and it's the Bumblebee colors and everything. He has a fully loaded Bumblebee, and I have never seen that shit is so crazy. Like, he has a fucking HUD, like part of like his odometer and stuff like that. It is casted to his windshield. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then the console inside looks like a fucking spaceship. Like, it has like all that shit. Like, I really wish, like, I really wish I had that kind of dough to do something like that. But the inside of that car looks like a fucking spaceship.
Yeah, my brother at one point, he had this. It was an older car, but he had it wired with a PS2 in it, and there was a TV in the back, so people can play PS2 games in the back seat. It's pretty sweet.
Sounds like it.
But yeah, and the PS2 had all like solid state shit, so they won't know fucking rumble around or anything. It was like a PS2 Slim, you know.
Right. That's cool. I mean, I don't know how you would update that though.
Right. Because the new consoles, you don't want them to be like bumping and shit with their disk drives.
Well, I mean, who uses discs these days?
I mean, not the hard drives or discs.
But the hard thing about putting one of the modern consoles in a car is the required internet connection.
Right. I guess you can. Well, some cars have Wi-Fi now. Like,
they
connections. So.
Yeah, they actually do. I've seen it. My car ain't got it, but I've seen it.
But I was talking about more like the hard drive, not the actual disc. Because that's how you fuck up a laptop that has I fucked up a laptop thinking it was complete like a mobile. Like, you go walking around with that shit, you'll fuck up that hard drive. Like, any sort of like movement while it's thinking can fuck that shit up.
All right, I think we're at an hour.
I think we are too, man.
Did you ever finish giving out all your information of what you've been consuming?
I've been playing some Mass Effect 3. I finished Omega, and that shit, dude, Aria. I remember there was a dude with a shield. Normally I'm like, okay, shield guy, so someone's got overload. Okay, her thing kind of looked like the overload symbol. I was like, okay, overload that guy. I knew it was a different name. I was like, okay, it's kind of like overload. It must be Aria thing. Okay, it blew everything up. She like killed every dude in the room. And all I was trying to do is blow that dude's shield off. And she had the one that you pull the shield off.
Yeah, dude, she's pretty badass, especially when you're leveled up and you can just auto-level her. She is fucking badass. And, I think the chick, the female Turian was the first time we've ever seen a female Turian.
Right.
Which is cool.
And she was cool, too. And... yeah, I was leveled up pretty high because, for one, I started that game at like level 30. So by the time now, I'm like, I'm running a soldier, so the only thing I ain't got leveled up is cryo ammo, which I don't really use that anyway. So everything's leveled up, and so I was able to level up her like auto level. Okay, she's badass now.
Yeah, it's basically like running with her is like running with the space bitches. With a leveled up first game. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that was really cool. And right now I'm doing the Quarian shit.
Okay.
I did the Geth Consensus, and I did the getting the Admiral, and right now I'm about to go to the Reaper base.
Okay. Yeah, as long as you save him first, you'll be able to make peace. But you have to save him first.
Right. Yeah.
Before you do the last mission, and just call they bluff, and he'll back you up, and then they won't all kill each other.
Right. Yeah, and that's not too rocket science to figure that out too, because that comes like after you get those missions. Just do them in order, and you'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But like some people fuck everything up, and then if you don't save him, then Tally will commit suicide.
Right. Nobody wants that.
Nah, we don't want Tally to die. So yeah. You got anything else before we wrap this up?
Nope. I've been just trying to figure shit out, man.
I hear that, sir. Yeah, so I'm going to be childless next week, which is great. My daughter's going on a trip, so I will be childless. So that means I might have some time to actually play some fucking video games. Even though I really kind of, I don't know why, but I really kind of like playing Pokemon. I really kind of like playing Pokemon. But
so when you come over, we're gonna, part of the extra live stream, we're gonna set up the webcam. We're gonna play some Magic, right?
Absolutely not.
I thought that was going to be an absolutely. Like, absolutely, man.
Absolutely
Let's totally do that. Dude,
Nope.
come. Magic the Gathering's got a lot more street cred than fucking Pokemon.
Nah, I know that it's a gateway drug, but it's a drug I know that I shouldn't want. And it's one of those things to whereas I would more than likely I would rather play a video game with the cards and I earn the cards than to buy actual cards.
Right.
And I feel the same about Pokemon. Like I'd much rather like play the online game.
To where me and somebody else played Magic and you were just chilling out.
No.
So you would just straight up, if we were like, the next part of the stream is playing Magic, you're like, all right, time to go back to Richmond.
Yeah, no, it's like I'm gonna go get something to eat or something. Like depending on when this is happening, as a part of the whole thing. Like I'm gonna be like, nah, I'm good. I'm so good.
So good.
So good. We going to cook out. Like fuck this shit. We going to cook out.
I'll go to cookout with you. Someone else can play Magic.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Like I'd much rather go to cookout than to watch anybody play Magic together. So that's basically how it's gonna be. But yeah, if anybody else plays, like I don't really want to go out into the wild and play. But I would definitely play against people. And even if I lose, it's still kind of fun. And the games don't last very long. Because as soon as the first person with a really fucking good Pokemon gets something, like, it's pretty much an automatic win. Like, these games don't last very long at all. My daughter whooped my ass one day because I just kept pulling Pokemon instead of the energy. So I just kept pulling Pokemon out of the deck, and I wasn't pulling energy. She got her energy faster than me, and she whooped my ass. Mm-hmm. So like so the matches don't last that long. So if anybody out there actually plays the online card game, holla at your boy, man.
Is energy kind of like mana?
Yes, basically. You can't do nothing until you attach energy to your Pokemon. And like the Pokemon have different requirements for what kind of energy you can add to them. So like you got to make sure that your deck is straight for whatever kind of Pokemon you want to use. There's colorless Pokemon that can use any kind, but
sounds just like Magic.
Yeah, I think it's basically I think most of it is the same idea.
Right.
So yeah. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
So, but if anybody out there plays, holla at your boy. I would be willing to play some of the online game, and we need to get some Killing Floor game nights going.
So we do.
Yeah, I mean we were supposed to play one last night, but your fault.
I thought I was going to get home early, and I didn't, and I got tired, so I just played a little Mass Effect and went to bed.
You suck. Okay, so if we got nothing else to say, thank you to everybody who's checking us out, and thank you to all of the previous guests that we had a few guests on recently. I'm gonna need y'all again for August because I kind of don't want to do this, so I need guests to kind of help spice up the show a little bit because I'm motherfucking tired and. doing all of these shows got me like really motherfucking tired in the course of, you know, normal work stuff, home life, and damn, being full-time dad right now has got me all kind of fucked up. So I'm gonna need some help. So if you want a guest on the show, holler at your boy. Let's do this. August. We do all guests for August. All guests.
That's gonna be a yearly thing. That's gonna be a yearly
Yeah, y'all better sign up. Y'all better sign up or I'm quitting. Like, let's be real. Y'all sign up or I'm quitting. I'm gonna have somebody else do it for me. But yeah, so for the homie Chase, I'm Scarfinger, this is Scarcasm, and the show is finally over. Peace out to the Warriors, yo.
Don't forget your triggers on your upkeep.
What?
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm telling you, Whoa. I'm telling. All right, I ain't gonna talk.